California. The last time I drove a Mercedes E63 AMG concerned 10 years ago, before there were even a Mercedes-AMG. It was obviously a blue station wagon detailed with roof rack and 7 seats, cream-colored leather interior, ARP-grade wood trim, and AMG's wicked 6.2-liter 507 horsepower V8 lurking under hood. It was the supreme sleeper, both visually and experientially, conducting itself considering the grace and poise associated with an O-Class. Soon you floored the accelerator, at which period it would rocket forward, exhaust blaring loud enough to drown out a war concert, even though the cops inside vicinity gave themselves whiplash looking for the Challenger, Camaro, or Mustang making everything that noise. The 2018 Mercedes-AMG E63 S First Edition S almost the exact opposite. It's a sedan, with bulging bodywork finished in matte black paint. The dash and doors are slathered in carbon fiber trim. The rock-hard racing seats are engrossed in ebony leather, along with the bulk from the dash, all highlighted with miles of bright yellow contrast stitching. It's the interior a billionaire bumblebee might commission. And the hardware within the hood is brilliant. A 4.0-liter V8 having a pair of turbochargers that boost this to 603 horsepower. I thought I'd miss the fundamental cubes in the old E63, but no, not only is this one faster 060 in 3.3 seconds, says Mercedes-AMG, our colleagues around the hall at Motor Trend timed it at 3.2, but it's equally loud, each bit as brutal. The all-wheel drive E63 S's 9-speed automatic uses an automatic clutch in preference to a torque converter so as to maximize the engine's face-flattening potential. One of the most significant improvements to the present all-new version may be the Easy Touse launch mode. The outgoing E63 required an incomprehensible sequence of button pushing and paddle pulling, though the new car allows you, turn the drive mode controller to race, push the brake pedal for the floor, and mat the accelerator. Release the brake, wait tight, and initiate thinking up excuses to supply the police. What I'd been told about the E63 S was that, unlike the older iteration I drove, it wasn't simply a straight-line muscle car. So I produced beeline for my personal favorite twisty canyon roads, and as the ride out there was clearly miserable, more on that shortly, the drive from the curves was exhilarating. I wish I could provide you with an Andy Pilgrim-like report that corners are underdamped and which tires were showing symptoms of heating up first. Even so, the bald-faced simple truth is that I pushed the hot rod Mercedes you wish I dared on the highway I know best, and also the most I could eke out became a wee dose of understeer as well as a sympathetic screeching in the tires, and I'm sure they were only doing that for making me feel much better. I did get the back end to walk out once, and this also required an especially sharp turn, glass-smooth pavement, as well as the willingness to soil an absolutely good 2 of trousers. It was obvious that however fast I wanted to travel, the Mercedes was happy to look faster. With the fear factor approaching an amount I've not experienced since my secondary school girlfriend informed me a certain recurring biological event we had not shown up on its anticipated schedule, I eased back my speed a tad, opened the windows, and enjoyed the lovely burbling and backfiring with the exhaust the way it echoed over canyon walls. I came away with 2 key takeaways concerning the E63 S. I dare not label them as problems, as being a better driver might disagree. First was obviously a tendency to the stability control system to trip somewhat early. Of the 3 performance driving modes, Sport, Sport Plus, and Race, only Rogues uses the Soundness Controls performance program. Fire right into a corner too fast, an undesirable habit of mine, and it's very easy to trigger only a smidge of understeer, but that smidge is sufficient cause the escape system to dial back the electricity. Selecting race mode reduced the problem, though one smidges never evolved into anything bigger. Still, what with the cliff walls somewhere and drop-offs alternatively, I'd prefer something inside the middle between full-on nanny along with a liberally-minded track program. This is as good a location as any to notice that the E63 S also offers a drift mode, which sends 100% from the engine's power on the rear wheels and requires stability control to get switched fully off. I didn't dare. Issue number 2 will be the E63 S's hyper-responsive, being a racing-inspired street car really should be, but unless you're super smooth around the controls, it's all too easy to feed in a tad too much steering, gas, or brake. This has been a challenge in my opinion, and my early progress up some with the twistier bits was far jerkier than I would want to admit. Good thing I was well within the vehicle's prodigious handling envelope. Goodness knows what my less than ideal technique was doing for weight transfer. Still, even though it highlighted a number of my poorer driving habits, I found the E63 S for being a grin-generating thrill ride. My takeaway from the day of challenging the laws of both traffic and physics is that the E63 S is a real supercar masquerading to be a sedan, which definitely makes the $105,000 sale price seem like tremendous value. But to be a daily commuter, it's pretty rough. The challenge with the E63 S is that it drives into need-up mode constantly. The steering is heavy enough to fatigue your arms. The suspension merely takes the sting off of sharper bumps, as though it was fulfilling the minimum standards of care essential to law but refusing to perform anything else. And the seats, don't even get me started. The front buckets are meanly padded and rock solid, and I spent the higher part of my day trying, and failing, to locate a comfortable adjustment. In all fairness, seat comfort was less connected with an issue after my hot-rod curvy road drive, but that could have been afterglow, or maybe the forces of acceleration had temporarily remolded my spine to your seat's unforgiving contours. Were I watching this review as an alternative to writing it, I suspect I'd be screaming for the screen right about now. If it drives as being a supercar, naturally it rides like crap. Fair point, but that is a German supercar, and moreover it's got an air suspension and electrical energy steering. I submit that AMG's engineers might have made the car in the same way talented in sport and race modes while providing a comfort mode which was actually comfortable. They might have turned up the ability steering boost. They may have softened the ride. They can have put merely a wee extra padding inside the seats. But they didn't. The E63 S's harsher personal computer needs to get in its tamest setting, slightly less comfortable, somewhat more tedious to drive to your office. It's just as if the engineers are jealous of your respective ability to afford this excellent car, and were determined to punish you for this. In an excellent world, I would own a Mercedes-AMG E63 S. I would are waiting for the foot of the best curvy canyon road, engine heated up, in race mode, primed and watchy for attack. And in that same ideal world, I'd employ a 10-year-old E63 wagon to commute between my house along with the car. 2018 Mercedes-AMG E63 S specifications. Price $105,395, $145,160 BAS tested. Engine 4.0 liters twin turbocharged 32 valve V8 603 HP at 5,7506, 500 revolutions per minute, 627 lb-ft at 2,5004, 500 revolutions per minute. Transmission 9-speed automatic. Layout 4-door, 5-passenger, front engine, AWD sedan. EPA mileage 1,522 miles per gallon city hui. LXWXH 196.4 by 81.3 by 56.6 inches, wheelbase 115.7 inches, weight 4,515 pounds, 060 miles per hour, 3.3 seconds, top speed 186 miles per hour.